Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So ఇవాళ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ ఫిజిక్స్ చాప్టర్ 5 లాస్ ఆఫ్ మోషన్ ఇందులో నుంచి మనకు అకార్డింగ్ టు బ్లూ ప్రింట్ ఒక 2 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ఒక 4 మార్క్స్ క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. సో మనం ఈ చాప్టర్ నుంచి ద మోస్ట్ రిపీటెడ్ అండ్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇవాళ కవర్ చేసేసుకుందాం. సో ఫస్ట్ మనము వెరీ షార్ట్ ఆన్సర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ నేర్చేసుకుందాము. ఇందులో మొత్తం థియరీయే ఉంటుంది. ఏ ప్రాబ్లమాటిక్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉండవు మనకి చాప్టర్ నుంచి. సో మనం ఈజీగా 6 మార్క్స్ తెచ్చేసుకోవచ్చు ఈ చాప్టర్ నుంచి. సో లెట్స్ బిగిన్. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, వాట్ ఈస్ ఇనర్షియా, వాట్ గివ్స్ ద మెజర్ ఆఫ్ ఇనర్షియా. సో ఫస్ట్ మనం వాట్ ఈస్ ఇనర్షియా రాయాలి, దాని తర్వాత what gives a measure of inertia. Okay, the inability of a body to change its state of rest or state of motion by itself is known as inertia. So it's like a natural tendency of a body to change its state of rest or state of uniform motion, so it's called as inertia. So mass is a measure of inertia. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What happens to coefficient of friction if weight of the body is doubled? సో ఇక్కడ బాడీ వెయిట్ డబుల్ అవుతే మన కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రిక్షన్ ఏమవుతుంది అని అడుగుతున్నారు. సో కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రిక్షన్ is independent of weight. This is the most important line for this question. Coefficient of friction is independent of weight of the body, so it remains constant. Okay, so ఇది కూడా చాలాసార్లు రిపీట్ అయింది మనకి క్వశ్చన్. సో this is also a very important question. We have to mention this point very clearly, that it is independent of weight of the body, so it remains constant. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. A horse has to pull harder during the start of the motion than later. Explain. So here they're asking about like a horse has to pull harder during the start of the motion than later. Why? Like we have to explain. Static friction is more than kinetic friction. This is the very important point in this line, so make sure you note it down this point in your books. So static friction is more than kinetic friction, hence the horse has to pull the cart harder during the start. Okay, during the start than later. So let's move on to the next question. If a bomb at rest explodes into 2 pieces, the pieces must travel in opposite directions. Explain. So if a bomb at rest explodes into 2 pieces, the pieces must travel in opposite directions, so we must explain it. So before explosion total momentum is 0 according to law of conservation of linear momentum. After explosion is also 0. Okay, these 2 points are very very important in this question. It's like an important point in this question. Okay, so therefore m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equals to 0. So here we are shifting this m2 v2 into this side, so it becomes minus. So m1 v1 is equals to minus m2 v2. Therefore momentum is represented by p, so p1 is equals to minus p2. Okay, hence the 2 paths moves in opposite directions. Okay, I hope you all understood. So I have posted these 2 marks questions notes in our YouTube channel shorts, so please go and check it out. So we have completed the 2 marks questions. So let's move on to the 4 marks questions. So ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ ది అడ్వాంటేజెస్ అండ్ డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్రిక్షన్. సో మనము అడ్వాంటేజెస్ అండ్ డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. సో అడ్వాంటేజెస్ 4 points and డిసడ్వాంటేజెస్ 4 points ఎనీ. సో మినిమం 4 ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకోవాలన్నమాట. ఓకే, బట్ మనకు ఇక్కడ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ we have so many advantages, but disadvantages we have less. So we have to mention the important points in the disadvantages. Okay, So advantages. Walking on floor, the motion of the vehicle, etc. is possible due to friction. Like we can walk on the floor safely without slipping because of friction between the ground and the feet. Okay? And also, brakes are able to stop the vehicle only due to frictional force between brake shoes and the inner surface of the brake drum. Okay, so that's why walking on the floor and the motion of the vehicle, etc., is possible due to friction. Okay. Second point, nails, screws, etc., are driven into the walls due to friction. Okay. Next one, a matchstick is lightened due to friction. Holding the objects with hands, writing with pens or pencils, etc., is possible due to friction. So we can hold the objects with our hands. So it is possible only due to friction. Okay. Now let's check the disadvantages of friction. Wear and tear of machine parts are due to friction. Energy loses as heat is due to friction. Friction results in the large amount of power loss in engines. Okay, these are the advantages and disadvantages of friction. The next important and repeated question, mention the methods used to decrease friction. So we have total 4 methods: polishing, ball bearing, lubricants and streamlining. Polishing. If surfaces are polished, irregularities of the surfaces are removed and thereby friction reduces. Like if we take two surfaces and polish them too much, thereby friction reduces and the surfaces will become smooth. So polishing is also one of the methods used to decrease friction. Second one, ball bearing. The hard steel balls called bearings placed between the moving parts convert sliding friction into rolling friction, hence friction is reduced. So in the moving parts of the vehicles, we can see the hard steel balls are placed in between the moving parts because sliding friction is converted into rolling friction and thereby friction is reduced. So the third point, lubricants. Lubricants like oil or grease which spreads over the surface fills the irregularities of the surface, thereby the friction is reduced. So one of the example for the lubricants is our cycle, where we can see we apply oil or grease to the moving parts of the cycle to make it, because it spreads over the surface and fills the irregularities and thereby friction is reduced, so we can drive the cycle very easily. And the fourth one, streamlining. Automobiles and aeroplanes are streamlined due to reduce the friction due to air.